You're beautiful. You're
Well, welcome.
beautiful.
I'm Jenkins. On this episode, I'd like to discuss with you inner resistance. You see, what stands in our way is within ourselves. It stands between where we are and where we want to be. Now, this inner resistance is found in our subconscious mind, and we bring it forth due to preconditioned interpretations of whatever is going to show up on our journey in life. Now, lack of understanding and awareness of exactly what is going on inside will cause you to bounce back to a familiar place that, well, I refer to as being stuck. Now, stuck is when you rationalize to yourself why being stuck in a job you hate or an unfulfilling relationship is somehow a good place to be. Well, the reality is it's just comfortable and you're familiar with it. It's just easier there. Now, the cause of this resistance to change can be found in our conditioned mind or our paradigms, I should say. Now, paradigms could be controlling virtually every single move you make. Now, my goal in this episode is to help you understand how paradigms are formed and how they contribute to keeping you from, well, manifesting your dreams, your goals, your desires. Now, think about it for a moment. Why is it that one person is sad and another person's happy? Why is one person joyous and prosperous and yet another person's poor and miserable? Why is one person fearful and anxious yet another full of faith and confidence? Why does one person have a beautiful, luxurious home while another person lives in a meager existence in a poor neighborhood? Why is this is one that's important too, I think, is why are some people cured of so-called incurable diseases while others continue to struggle their whole life? Why is it that many good, kind, loving people suffer in their minds and bodies? Why is it that one person is happily married, yet another is depressed and frustrated? Why? Well, is there an answer to these questions in the workings of your subconscious mind? The answer is absolutely yes. It lies in the paradigm. The paradigms are like a program that was installed into your subconscious mind. It's a program installed by people, remarkably close to you, people that probably love you very, very much. These are generally good people, people who simply wanted the best for you. Now, these people writing your program, well, they gave you what they had, what they believed to be true. And more than likely, it's what they were given while they were growing up. But unfortunately, they really had no idea what they were doing. See, they could have been programming you with limiting beliefs that might be controlling the remainder of your life. See, thoughts, concepts, and values that were prominent around you repeatedly, well, they went straight into your subconscious mind. You receive this environmental information every single day, every week, every month, and, well, every year for the first 4 to 5 years of your life. And when you reach 4 to 5, well, you were given the gift of being able to think. But guess what? You've already been programmed at that point. See, you were programmed to think like the people you were surrounded by. If the people you were surrounded by went, well, straight through school, for example, you would probably go straight through school. If the people who surrounded you always lived in hard times, maybe never had any money or perhaps were often in debt, well, you probably experienced the same today. See, these paradigms will rear their ugly heads anytime that you try to step forward into an area that you're not conditioned to experience, causing us basically to behave in a manner that sabotages our ability to follow through on our intentions. This self-sabotage is what holds us back from tuning in and experiencing all the gifts of this universe. Self-sabotage is the resistance to new thoughts, feelings, and actions outside our comfort zone. Our conditioned mind, it causes us to be unable to have healthy relationships, reach career or health goals. when we have things in our lives that are important to us, but we subconsciously or maybe even semi-consciously do something to prevent ourselves from receiving them, guess what? Self-sabotage is the cause. The symptoms of self-sabotage are, well, procrastination, overeating, making excuses, even numbing ourselves through things like drugs, alcohol, social media. How about even Netflix binging? That's a big one. See, our goal is to have how we feel on the inside be congruent with how things are on the outside. And if our outside world is not congruent with how we feel about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves on the inside, well, we will try to do things to align them subconsciously. Usually, it is not changing our beliefs about ourselves to match the good things that are happening in our lives. We take the good things, we take those good things in our lives, and guess what? We destroy them. We sabotage them. We will ruin them to meet how we feel on the inside, what we believe we deserve to have on the inside. If you fundamentally do not believe that you deserve or are worthy of living a healthy and wealthy life, well, your subconscious programming will cause you to resist and self-sabotage. You might have great motivation. You might have great ambition. You might get exhilarated one day and you might even start. You might begin. You might start to go through the motions thinking, yes, I can have this. I can do this. But then guess what? Partway through, you probably give up. You come up with all kinds of excuses. You procrastinate or you start doing things somehow to ruin it. And that is because you do not believe that you deserve it. If things basically are going well on the outside and you do not feel well on the inside, well, you're probably going to sabotage the good. See, that was a big realization for me when I first learned this. I spent most of my life resisting many opportunities simply because of my internal self-image. Now, understanding this concept helped me move forward into, well, growth and freedom. All the doubts, fears, and anxiety still exist, but I become, well, I shouldn't say they have become weak from the lack of me nourishing those thoughts. Now, another scenario that I have personally experienced is that imaginary glass ceiling that, we place ourselves in. It's a box where we allow ourselves to exist, keeping somehow in the middle, or even maybe to the upper limits or maybe to the lower limits, but rarely below it or above it. We may have this general idea of how much success that we are basically allowed to enjoy. Maybe it's some success, but perhaps maybe not too much success. I can't get too big for my britches, right? Or I can't be too happy because you know what happens when people are too comfortable, right? This imaginary glass ceiling keeps us in the box. Whenever we get to the upper limit of it, well, guess what? We'll sabotage it with thoughts like, I don't deserve this. This is not okay. And I need to bring myself back down and be within this idea of who I am, what I'm allowed and, well, what I deserve. Sometimes if we notice ourselves going below that, we'll subconsciously again do things to bring ourselves back up, causing us to think, I feel pretty good about myself. And I think I deserve these things. But there might be something going on in your psyche saying you deserve them, but only so much of them. Because you only deserve so much, right? You can only have so much happiness, right? You only deserve so much success. You only deserve so much love. Well, you only deserve maybe so much health in your life. See, the truth is that you're deserving of anything and everything you can imagine. So the key to moving forward is to uncover those beliefs Uncover those beliefs that you have about yourself that are keeping you in the box. Now, another factor holding us back is vulnerability avoidance. Frequently, we resist and self-sabotage because although we would like to have all these beautiful things, fulfilling the important dreams means taking risks. It requires putting ourselves out there and putting ourselves into situations that are not entirely in our control. And as human beings, well, most of us are control addicts. We're kind of control freaks. We need what we think we need to control. What we do not realize is that control, well, it's just an illusion. So frequently going for meaningful and fulfilling things involves, well, stepping out of our comfort zone, involves taking risks, doing things that are out of our control that won't make us feel vulnerable. We do not want to put ourselves out there and be vulnerable because we're afraid of getting hurt somehow. We're scared of having to deal with discomfort. We're fearful of things not working out and coping with being in pain or being hurt. So guess what? You're going to avoid it at all costs, even though it could be the opportunity to make your dreams come true. Now, the imposter phenomenon is next. The critical elements of the imposter phenomenon are as we rise higher, as we start to have more goodness in our lives, well, guess what? We start to feel this pressure. And we start to feel like, well, we don't deserve this. I'm not worthy of this. This is too much. What are people going to think? It's only a matter of time before people realize that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deserve where I am right now. See, this scenario will cause us to knock ourselves down, and we will do something to sabotage that success because we're scared of being found out. We don't believe that we deserve it. See, the imposter phenomenon can be a significant problem. A significant problem the higher you rise. Now, here's another one. Here's a massive one. Ego. Now, we self-sabotage because we fear failure. If you give it everything you got and it doesn't work out, well, geez, that means that you don't have what it takes, right? That you're a failure, that you're not good enough. Now, what if you only put in half the effort? Procrastinate a little, leave things to the last minute, and you don't have any success or reach your goals. Well, guess what? That's because, well, you didn't put much effort in, did you? The reality, however, is just a way to protect your ego. Maybe you have not thought about any of this before. Perhaps you didn't realize it. But often when it comes to procrastinating, leaving things to the last minute is a way basically to protect your ego. We're scared that it will mean that we're no good and don't have what it takes. See, our ego does not know how to handle these feelings. So it stops us with self-sabotaging behaviors. And basically stops us from ever having to face any false thoughts. People frequently think that self-sabotage is a fear of success when no, it's a fear of failure. It is the fear that if we go for something, if we give it everything we have and come up short, we're somehow a failure. So to deal with self-sabotage, first of all, we have to heal our relationship with ourselves and start to believe that we are worthy of the things that are meaningful and important to us, that we deserve them. And it's okay to have them, that we are worthy. We also need to look at our relationship with failure. Perhaps heal our relationships with failure. See, failure is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. We're the ones that make it something. Know that it is just the paradigm, your conditioning, that causes you to remain stuck. It causes you to not move forward and go after the things you want. So this is going to bring us to the end of this episode. I hope you found this information informative. And as always, if you would like more information on this or other topics, I encourage you to visit my website at leemjenkins.com. Until next time, I'm Lee Jenkins.